Friends, welcome to the weekly press briefing, the last press briefing of the year. There won't be any more briefing in 2016. So let me begin with the issue of the dastardly terrorist attack in Germany this week. India strongly condemns the attack that occurred at the Christmas market in Berlin on the 19th of December. We offer our condolences to the families and wish speedy recovery to the injured. As a victim of repeated terror attacks, India stands with the government and the people of Germany. There can be no doubt that the rising number of terrorist attacks across the world underlines the need for concerted action against terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. So that concludes my only announcement. The floor is now open for questions. Aditya?
About this case from Norway, what is the update from the Ministry of External Affairs? I spoke to the ambassador there. He said that the mother, of course, is an Indian, and all legal assistance would be provided, but the embassy is waiting for the father to revert. So what exactly is the norm really here, and how soon can the Indian embassy help the child get in touch with the family?
The ministry is fully aware of this issue, and our embassy in Oslo is following up the matter. Our ambassador has already established contact with the father, who, as you know, is a Norwegian citizen, as is the child. The mother, however, happens to be an Indian passport holder. Following the custody of the child by Norway's Child Welfare Services, legal proceedings are currently underway regarding the continuation of such custody. We are informed that the father has engaged a Norwegian lawyer to pursue the matter in the court. Given the seriousness of the issue, should we receive a formal representation from the mother, who, as you know, is an Indian national, the embassy remains fully prepared to engage with the local authorities to impress upon them that this is a humanitarian issue and the separation of a child from his parents is a matter of distress to the entire family. As you're also aware, External Affairs Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj is personally monitoring this case. Vinita?
Because there have been reports that about 150 dead bodies are lying in hospitals, in mortuaries in Saudi Arabia, and allegations are that the Indian embassy is doing nothing to bring them back. Can you confirm this?
I think the report that you are referring to is factually misleading, is completely false. That report refers to 150 bodies from Telangana and Andhra Pradesh lying in the mortuaries in Saudi Arabia. In reality, there are only about 10 cases that pertain to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and the total number of bodies is nowhere near that number that you mentioned, 150. Moreover, the report fails to appreciate the context of the diaspora community in Saudi Arabia. So let me take this opportunity to clarify the role of the embassy and the procedures involved in death cases. You will know that there are more than 2 million Indians who are living and working in Saudi Arabia. On average, there are 3 to 4 death cases registered every day on account of entirely natural reasons. Most cases are clear cases in which, as per local norms, it takes around 3 weeks to send mortal remains, even if the documents are in order. In cases of unnatural death, like suicide, murder, and industrial accident, and also in those cases where the families doubt the circumstances of death, the investigation procedure is very lengthy, causing delay in completion of documentation and the transportation of mortal remains. In some cases, the families demand release of compensation first before the dispatch of the mortal remains, whereas compensation is a legal process and takes years. In other cases of delay, DNA samples from the families back home are needed to identify the body and complete the local procedures. So at any given point of time, there would be a number of cases of all categories being processed. The embassy proactively follows all death cases on top priority. In fact, no objection certificates are issued by the embassy on a 24/7 basis. In the kafala system, that is the sponsorship system being followed in Saudi Arabia, it is the responsibility of the sponsor to complete the paperwork and dispatch the mortal remains to India. Despite this legal position, the embassy steps in whenever there are delays in the transportation of mortal remains. So I hope this clarifies the matter and sets at rest this entire controversy about so-called 150 bodies being piled up in mortuaries in Saudi Arabia. Manish.
सर, पठानकोट केस में चार्जशीट फाइल होने के बाद क्या हम कह सकते हैं कि मौलाना मसूद अजहर को लेकर जो हमारा केस है 1267 कमेटी के सामने वो और अधिक मजबूत हुआ है, और पाकिस्तान पर इसके मामले में हम लोग और क्या कर रहे हैं?
देखिए, जहाँ तक 1267 कमेटी का प्रश्न है, मेरे ख्याल से हमारा केस वैसे ही बहुत सशक्त है। सबको पता है कि मौलाना मसूद अजहर कौन है, मौलाना मसूद अजहर किस संगठन के नेता हैं। वो संगठन 2001 से प्रतिबंधित है। तो ये बिल्कुल तर्कसंगत नहीं है कि संगठन 2001 से प्रतिबंधित है और संगठन का जो सरगना है वो बाहर घूम रहा है, खुलेआम बयानबाजी कर रहा है और उकसा रहा है लोगों को हिंसा के प्रति। तो मेरे ख्याल से ये जो NIA ने जो चार्जशीट फाइल की है, उस चार्जशीट का मेन पर्पस क्या है, उसका प्रमुख उद्देश्य ये है कि जो गिल्टी हैं, जिनके ऊपर बहुत गंभीर आरोप हैं, उनको हम किस तरह न्यायिक प्रक्रिया के अंदर ला सकें। जहाँ तक 1267 कमेटी का प्रश्न है, आपको पता है कि वहाँ पे मामला क्यों हिलगा हुआ है। 30 तारीख तक एक होल्ड लगी हुई है, महीने के अंत तक। देखते हैं उसके बाद क्या होता है। कालोल।
So can you please tell us what exactly do you plan to do after the hold is over on the 30th?
As I said, let us not prejudge the outcome of what happens on that day. We will, of course, frame our strategy based on the outcome on that particular day. Arune?
Follow up to that question only. Have the recommendations come in from the interministerial committee
On what?
on the problems of
Okay,
NRIs?
no. Basically, those recommendations are still under the purview of the Department of Economic Affairs. We continue to pursue it with them, and we hope that very soon we will have some recommendations which we can share with all of you.
And what about the NRIs depositing their old currencies?
As I said, all these matters are within the purview of the Department of Economic Affairs. They are examining the matter. We are all aware of the issues that have been brought to knowledge, not only by the foreigners living here, but also by NRIs living abroad. And I'm sure government will take a considered view in the matter. Charu?
So, we've filed a charge sheet against Maulana Masood Azhar and other senior leaders of his organization. But given the fact that we don't have any extradition mechanism with Pakistan or any other mechanism comparable to that, what really are the realistic, practical measures we can take to bring those people to justice?
I believe certain channels are available, even if you don't have those kinds of instruments that you mentioned, and I'm sure the NIA would follow the proper legal procedures in such cases. Obviously, the right persons to answer this question would also be the NIA. Yes, Naz.
Actually, can I go back to those passport rules?
No,
there
you
is
can't.
Still some confusion.
Sorry, you should have you should have resolved those confusion when you had the opportunity to resolve
Anyway,
this
I ask
confusion.
another question. Recently, this Interministerial Committee on Indus Water Treaty has
Correct.
been set up. So, can you give any update to what decisions
Okay.
it has taken?
So a task force has been created by government for ensuring the fullest exploitation of India's rights under the Indus Waters Treaty of 1960. The Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation is the coordinating ministry. Other relevant stakeholders in Government of India are members, including the Ministry of External Affairs. In addition, there is involvement of concerned state governments. Now, information on the outcome of the first meeting of the task force is still awaited. Ranjit.
China has been issuing warning to India on the issue of Dalai Lama through official spokesperson and through official media also. What do you have to say on this?
I have already said what I had to say as far as our position on the Dalai Lama is concerned. It's fairly well known. I don't see any other questions. Yes. Shalinder.
There have been still new cases coming up from Pakistan that there are forced conversions in the Hindu minority there.
Look, as far as the issue of protection of minority rights is concerned, that's an internal matter for the government of Pakistan, and we hope that they will abide by their responsibility to ensure that every citizen of Pakistan has an equal stake there and nobody feels discriminated. Yes. 1267?
216.
2016.
How would
Look,
you sum up?
That is your job. My job is to give you the facts, to give you the developments that have happened throughout the year. It is your job to analyze those developments, to sum up and say this happened, that happened, you know, what is the sum total. So please do not abdicate your responsibility. At the back, Ashish.
Sir, you just said in the absence of extradition mechanism with Pakistan, you believe there are mechanisms that NIA may exploit. So in a way, is NIA going to press for extradition or deportation in some way of Masood
Again,
Azhar with Pakistan?
Ashish, that is a question you need to put to NIA. Only they can answer those questions. Yes.
सर, नवाज शरीफ ने बोस्निया में ये कहा कि भारत के साथ जो भी मसले हैं खास तौर पे विवादास्पद, उसको बातचीत के जरिए हल किया जाना चाहिए। तो एक लॉक जैम के बाद देखा जा रहा है कि नवाज शरीफ की तरफ से ये फिर जो है भारत के लिए एक तरह से संदेश आ रहा है। किस तरह से आप लोग रिएक्ट करते हैं इस पर?
देखिए, हमने बातचीत के लिए कभी भी इनकार नहीं किया है। हमने सिर्फ ये कहा है कि पाकिस्तान को एक ऐसा वातावरण बनाना चाहिए जिसमें कि ऐसी बातचीत हो सके जिसका फिर कोई फल निकले। एक ऐसा माहौल जहाँ पे लगातार निरंतर हम देख रहे हैं कि आतंकवाद चल रहा है, हिंसा चल रही है, LOC पे फायरिंग चल रही है, हर दिन प्रतिदिन कोई ना कोई टेररिस्ट की घुसपैठ हो रही है, इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स आ रहे हैं, हमारे सोल्जर्स को अटैक कर रहे हैं। तो ऐसे वातावरण में हम किस तरह सार्थक बातचीत कैसे हो सकती है, सार्थक वार्ता पाकिस्तान के साथ कैसे हो सकती है? तो पाकिस्तान को एक सार्थक वातावरण बनाना है, एक ऐसा वातावरण बनाना है जिसमें कि हिंसा और आतंकवाद का सहारा वो लेना छोड़ दें और फिर आके बैठे हम हर मसले पर उनसे बातचीत करने को तैयार हैं। Vinita, I'm in a charitable mood, end of the year, Christmas and whatnot, so.
Because there have been political statements from Pakistan that, you know, inviting India to join the CPEC. Would you like to comment on that?
See, our position on the CPEC is very well known. This is a Chinese initiative. We have also noticed that, the One Belt, One Road is a Chinese initiative, and CPEC is an integral part of that. CPEC passes through sovereign Indian territory. So obviously our concerns in this regard have been, conveyed clearly both to China as well as to Pakistan. Suchitra?
Sir, actually, Pakistan has alleged that India has a demography on Kashmir, actually. So what is your reaction on that?
I see Pakistan has no business to be talking about such things. Jammu and Kashmir is entirely an internal matter of India, and they have no locus standi. Pranay?
Just in addition to the same question, that Pakistan has yesterday alleged that India is issuing the domicile certificates to the refugees who are residing in India. So, and the government of Jammu and Kashmir has clarified that they are just issuing the identity cards. Can you just clarify the position and the Pakistan?
As I said, internal matters pertaining to the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir are within the purview of the Ministry of Home Affairs. I see no reason why Pakistan needs to involve itself, with those issues. We will not brook any interference in our domestic internal affairs. Okay, I think that exhausts all the questions. So let me take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy, creatively fulfilling New Year, and see you all in 2017. Thank you all.